If you're tired, lazy, and broke, like we're all about to be with this war looming and gas prices skyrocketing, these 4 lazy dinners are for you. I am in a season of life where I'm really scaling my business and my mental capacity is very limited. So I really need lazy meals. And to me, a lazy meal must check most of these boxes. First, it has to be low effort. Minimal prep, no precision needed, no mess to clean up. Next, it needs to be no thought required. I don't want to have to follow a strict recipe, and I want to be able to easily swap out ingredients. Next, it needs to be things that I usually have on hand. So pantry staples, leftovers, cheap ingredients. And lastly, it needs to be minimal cleanup. Because if you don't know, I have a food blog. I do a lot of dishes for that with recipe testing and photographing and all of that. And so on a normal night, I just need something that I can just quickly throw together. And this first meal, I feel like truly embodies everything that a lazy dinner is, and that is a sheet pan salmon and veggies. I literally just throw whatever veggies I have on hand. I like to make this style of recipe on a Friday or Saturday. First of all, because that's by Friday, I am like done with life and like over it and don't want to do anything else. But secondly, it's a great way to just kind of clean out the fridge, and then you just season that up with whatever you like. I just did a little olive oil, salt, and pepper. That's really what we like on our veggies. And then the salmon. Okay, the salmon, you guys may have seen it soaking in milk because I bought this salmon and it was called pink salmon. It was on rollback at Walmart and it was just so incredibly fishy. And so I Googled, how do you get rid of the fishy flavor in salmon? And the AI overview said if you soak it in milk and make it really like herby, garlicky, buttery, then it wouldn't be so fishy. So I did that. And let me tell you, it like worked. It was definitely less fishy than the last time that I used this bag of salmon because it was a big bag of salmon, okay? There's still some in my freezer and we are not wasting it, but it definitely still had like a fishy flavor. So don't buy the pink frozen salmon from Walmart. It's gross. But then you just pop all of that into the oven at 400 degrees for like 15 to 20 minutes, and that is it. This is truly a meal that I make on repeat, and I love it for nights where I'm like, I don't know what to do. Especially the fish component, because fish thaws out so quickly, just not this particular one. This next one is something that I think we all keep on rotation, and that is tacos. I did this with a little bit of a twist. So this Christmas, I made tamales for the first time. And oh my God, the meat is just so good. But like, who's making tamales on a lazy weeknight? Not me. But I still wanted kind of those flavors. So what I did was I made the meat how you would make tamales. I basically just like boiled them with the chilies, and then me and my son actually went on a walk. So while this was boiling, we went out for a little walk, and then we came back. By the time we came back from our walk, the chicken was done. I shredded it up with the KitchenAid and blended the chilies together and then mixed that together. And then I had made some mango salsa and corn salsa. Those 2 recipes are actually on the website. And then I just heated up a tortilla, and there you go. That was dinner. Tacos, again, are just so easy. You can easily swap out ingredients for whatever you have. Any meat works. You don't even have to thaw the meat. This meat was actually still kind of frozen, and I just threw it in the water and it thawed and boiled, and it was fine. I know boiled meat can kind of be weird, but I think shredded on a taco, I've touched on this many times on this channel, but a major key to success in keeping everything budget friendly and lazy is having things on hand. If you don't have the chicken, you have to run to the store for the chicken, then you're more than likely gonna say, well, if I'm going out, I might as well go get McDonald's. Also, McDonald's, what happened to McDonald's? Wow, it's horrible now and expensive, so don't go to McDonald's. Some people are saying that McDonald's is actually human meat, and with everything that has come out recently in those files, I am skeptical. But anyways, not having chicken, not having rice, not having tortillas, having pantry staples, it is the key to the streets if you are trying to cook from home without it taking a lot of effort. Meals do not have to be extravagant and fancy to be delicious and home cook. If you are thinking you gotta go on Pinterest and you gotta find the best recipes to make and you gotta have all different ingredients and every single week, every dinner needs to be a new recipe, you are setting yourself up for overwhelm and truly failure. Keep it simple, stupid. That is my philosophy in life, but particularly in the kitchen. I truly do feel as women, we care so deeply about the things that we do that we will drive ourselves nuts. But think about like if you leave the house, what your husband will feed your child. I was out and about and I came home. I was like, oh, what did you feed the baby? And he was like, dinner rolls. He fed the baby dinner rolls for lunch and then put him down for his nap. And like, would I recommend feeding your child dinner rolls every single day for lunch? No, but like if that does happen, they will survive. And that's okay. So don't drive yourself nuts about things that in the grand scheme of things are usually okay. Because if you're doing better than dinner rolls and there's a protein, a starch, and a veggie, that's really all that your family needs. And when I was growing up, I feel like that's what my mom did. There was no Pinterest. Well, there probably was, but she didn't use it that much. And we all survived. I am 20, almost 26. So I made it and your kids will too. Raise your hand if you have a child that has decided that he does not like leftovers. If you raise your hand, we are in the same exact boat. I have a child that's decided that leftovers are not for him. But leftovers are such a crucial part of lazy dinners because, first of all, you don't have to cook. Duh. But second of all, it reduces food waste and it saves you money. And so what I like to do with my leftovers is turn it into something super simple like baked potatoes. So you guys saw I made those tacos. We had leftover meat. I put some potatoes in my Instant Pot, which is something you could totally do before you head off to work in the morning. Pressure cook, probably like 30 minutes. You actually want to put more water than I did because I had to put it back in. But yeah, like actually fill it with water and then pressure cook it for like 20-30 minutes and then put in your meat. I had some cooked bacon, cheese, butter, super yummy. And then I just served it with some sugar snap peas, which have become like one of my favorite veggies. They're so sweet and crunchy and perfect to snack on. Baked potatoes have become one of my favorites. And again, it's another meal that you have a really simple pantry staple. Actually, I read that potatoes are like one of the only things that you can survive off of without eating anything else, which is kind of crazy. But you have this super simple, cheap pantry staple, and then you're using already cooked meat, so that just takes the time off. I love it, and it's so delicious. My kid ate it. He has trouble with meat, and mixing it in with the potatoes, he ate it no problem. So that was a win-win. If you can create a system, just like you saw me do in this video, for cooking, I think this is another key to lazy cooking. So you make something, and then you can remix it a few times throughout the week, and I do this quite often. Okay, so on Sundays, I love a roast chicken on a Sunday. Oh my God. Me and roast chicken, we go together real bad. Love roast chicken. And then the next day, you make the tacos with that leftover chicken. And then next day, you can make soup with the bones. Add some noodles and boom. That is like the perfect system for lazy cooking that is so just like thoughtless, which I love. So if you can find ways to remix your leftovers, it's going to make your weeknights just that much easier. Last up, we have a recipe that is a tale as old as time, and that is rice and beans. The Creole version though, red beans and rice. Oh my God, do I love red beans and rice. And on this particular day, I forgot to buy sausage. So I just used ham hocks in their place. Actually, I usually use ham hocks and sausage because the ham hocks give it such good flavor, and then the sausage is just delicious when you're actually like eating it. But this is so easy. I don't even soak my beans because I have the Instant Pot, and if you saw in this video, I used the Instant Pot a few times. Love my Instant Pot. It is another key to lazy dinners. If you can, again, just dump stuff in, frozen meat and a few other things, 20 minutes later you have dinner. Another key to the street. But anyways, for this one, I just rinsed off my beans. I go through my dried beans because sometimes there'll be like little rocks and sediment. So just go through those, rinse those off. Saute the Holy Trinity. I actually had a red bell pepper in this video. It's supposed to be green bell pepper. Saute that in a little butter and then pressure cook it. I pressure cooked it for 2 hours and then I put it over rice, and that was it. So incredibly easy and like delicious. Red beans and rice is underrated. I usually just have this as a meal on its own. If you're feeling less lazy and more ambitious, fried chicken goes great. So those are my 4 easy, lazy weeknight dinner ideas that I make on repeat around here. And I hope that you found some inspiration for this. Please don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in next week's video.